Good afternoon. Charges have been laid against two men in a disturbing sexual assault of a teenage girl. Police say one man was using the other, selling the sexual service of a 13-year-old girl. Daryl Rommelt reports.
It's common practice for police officers to run prostitution stings in the city's downtown core. But this latest bust was anything but common. Police call it downright disturbing.
I mean, it's just a 13-year-old girl that was out working. It's very disturbing that that's occurring in our city.
Barely a teenager used for prostitution. Police identified the girl last week as potentially living a high-risk lifestyle. Now they know for sure. 32-year-old Memphis Matthew Grossventure boy is charged with procuring the girl for prostitution and selling her to a man old enough to be her grandfather.
He was living off the Vale's prostitution, basically. He was the one that she was working for.
61-year-old Robert John Gerard is the man accused of hiring the young girl. He's charged with sexual assault, sexual interference, procuring a youth for sex, and invitation to sexual touching.
Well, prostitution occurs on a regular basis. This is the first time that I'm aware of a girl this young working in our downtown.
The 13-year-old girl is not facing any charges, and police say they're now working with a number of social agencies to help provide her with the assistance and resources she needs to overcome her high-risk lifestyle at such a young age. Police can't say how Grossventure boy may have coerced the teen into prostitution, whether he threatened or intimidated her. That's information that will come out in court. But officers confirm Grossventure boy has a criminal background. As for the young girl, police can only hope their early intervention means she will be able to, in time, get her life back on track. Daryl Rommelt, CTV News, Lethbridge.
Grossventure boy is scheduled to appear in court on February 27th. Gerard will make his first court appearance on March 1st. And police have two men in custody and are awaiting the results of an autopsy on a 63-year-old man before deciding what charges will be laid. The man was assaulted in the area of 18th Street and 2nd Ave South on Saturday. He died suddenly in hospital on Wednesday. Police have arrested a 61-year-old man and a 28-year-old. Their names have not been released.
I believe the victim is 63 years of age, so it's not something that happens every day that, someone's approached in broad daylight and an assault ensues, so for sure it's unusual.
And Dory joins us now, and Dory, looks like we'll be going into the last week of February with either normal temperatures or even above average.
Yeah, not bad at all, Elissa. We do have a little upper level system that's just in the last couple of hours has kind of made itself known. So we do have chance of seeing a little bit of flurry activity tonight, maybe tomorrow morning. But in the big scheme of things, things are looking pretty good over the next several days. And I'll have all your details coming up in a couple of minutes.
Thank you, Dory. Only time will tell how the budget will affect classroom cuts, but it's weighing on the minds of the province's teachers as the provincial budget looms. More than $6 billion of the province's budget is for education, but the deficit is expected to be close to half of that number, and that has educators wondering if funding will be cut. CTV's Jeanette Roche reports.
Jordan Brain is a full-time teacher, but it took him a year to get that job. Now he worries about what cuts to education could mean for his future.
That is a worry, being like a newer teacher. You're the first one to go, so I'm worried.
The provincial budget is just weeks away, and Alberta's deficit is slated to be about $3 billion. That's half of what it costs to deliver education in Alberta. Terry Hagel is an assistant principal. He's concerned, but says it's his 900 students who will be impacted the most if the Redford government makes education cuts.
Well, it always trickles down to our students. So are we concerned about it? Yeah, anytime you hear the word cut, we're concerned about what eventually will be the end result for our students.
Right now, there are around 9,000 students enrolled in Lethbridge's public school district and 470 teachers. Do the math, and that breaks down to between 20 and 25 students per classroom. But if jobs are slashed, that student-to-teacher ratio goes up.
Once you get up over a certain number, it certainly seems like every time there's another student is added, it seems like the classroom size doubles. And certainly able to be a lot more effective as a teacher if you're able to manage the number.
This first-year teacher remembers the Premier's campaign promise to make education a priority. And she hopes Premier Redford remembers too.
So I think it's super important that she really focuses on making sure that there's a balanced budget and that we have enough teachers and support staff, and we need to keep having those just to maintain the quality of education that Alberta prides themselves on.
Some of the teachers we polled today felt it would be a little too premature to comment on the provincial budget deficit and how it might affect education. Many of them feel they'd rather wait it out until the budget comes out next month. Jeanette Roche, CTV News, Lethbridge.
The city is trying to help nonprofits access additional cash to help in achieving their goals. An information session was held last night at City Hall. Its aim was to help nonprofits and community organizations learn more about how they can access money to help fund community projects. Sessions included how to apply for funding. The manager of Recs and Culture says it's a good chance for groups with ideas for capital projects to learn more about how to pay for them.
Well, I think it's really encouraging. Every year through our Community Capital Project grant, we do get a lot of applicants. We usually spend in the neighborhood of anywhere from $600,000 to $1 million in that particular program. And I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of the applicants here tonight are really going to fit into that particular program.
More information has been posted on the city's website, lethbridge.ca. The proposed Keystone XL pipeline is at the top of the agenda for Premier Redford as she spends the weekend in the U.S. Capitol. Redford is taking part in the annual Governors Association meeting in Washington, D.C. She's pushing for federal approval for the $7 billion pipeline planned to carry bitumen from the oil sands to the Gulf Coast. Her trip comes on the heels of promises by U.S. President Obama and Secretary of State John Kerry to protect the environment and several major protests against Keystone XL. Still, Redford says she's confident.
I'm still very optimistic about that because I think that everything that we're doing right now is about ensuring that we have a more sustainable and a stronger record with respect to environmental management.
The proposed pipeline was recently approved by the state of Nebraska, who initially opposed the project. A federal U.S. decision is expected this spring. Incredible pictures out of Europe this morning of some major flooding in parts of Greece and Italy. Catania is underwater after several hours of heavy rain and a thunderstorm hit earlier today. At one point, parked vehicles were swept away by the racing waters. Roads and homes are flooded and the train network is disrupted. In Athens, the local fire department says it received at least 600 calls from home and business owners to help drain water. Fortunately, no injuries have been reported. The Chamber of Commerce raised more than $25,000 for post-secondary scholarships during its 24th annual dinner and auction. This year's theme, Flavors of the World. More than 300 guests showed off their best international style. Items from the silent and live auction were donated by local businesses. The evening was also a chance for the local business community to network and socialize with other Chamber members.
By supporting your local businesses, you're doing your city a favor, you're doing your community a favor, and you're doing these businesses a favor. And there's some great local businesses that are out there to support.
Temperatures will be above average for this time of year, but the message remains the same for those taking part in the coldest night of the year event. The group will take to the streets on Saturday for a walk through the downtown to help raise money and awareness to help end homelessness in Lethbridge. The walk is in support of Streets Alive missions and their programs for the less fortunate.
It's going to be kind of fun when you get about 150 people out there in a group just headed down. And the whole purpose of that is to bring awareness that it is cold out there. And, you know, what we're saying this year, we're walking the cold to warm a heart.
The walk goes on Saturday at 5 o'clock, leaving from Streets Alive mission. And now here's a look at your market numbers for today.